Hello, I'm Shaun McLaren, and this is an interesting new deck in Modern. I'm trying to abuse Legion's Landing as much as possible, so I put it into a mono white deck with a bunch of creatures that can attack. Alright, so let's take a look at the deck. Legion's Landing, to start with, which is gonna generate a creature and then flip to generate a land that generates more creatures. Okay, so we have Legion's Landing and also Windburst Heights as our cards that benefit from you attacking with 3 creatures. So what creatures are we going to be attacking with? You've probably seen a deck like this in Modern before. There are a bunch of different styles of mono white decks, some more controlling, some super aggressive. We went with the more aggressive version with Honor of the Peer. So yeah, Honor of the Peer, Spectral Procession is a nice combo, and Spectral Procession also conveniently gives you enough creatures to activate Windburst Kites or flip Legion's Landing. So that's a nice little bunch of combos. We also have Squadron Hawk that generates a bunch of dudes, or in this case hawks. The dude generator is Legion Conquistador, which is the new Squadron Hawk that is probably nowhere near as good as Squadron Hawk. I'm actually only running 3 of them. I said to myself, this card doesn't seem that great, but it is kind of like Squadron Hawk, so it's worth trying out. But drawing 2 of these seems particularly bad in your opening hand, so I kind of tried to reduce the chances of that, but still have it be a good card when you do draw it. Or good card, quotation marks. So the reason why we're running this is largely in part because of Oketra's Monument, which is amazing with Squadron Hawk and also pretty good with Legion Conquistador. You can basically cast your Squadron Hawk or Legion Conquistador for 1 less mana and then generate a bunch of guys by playing them all out. And we also have Mistveil Plains to put our Squadron Hawks and Legion Conquistadors back on the bottom of our deck and then research them and go infinite, essentially, if our opponent is trying to remove them through conventional memes. So yeah. We also have Ranger Evios, which is going to be able to get us our 1-drops. In particular, our nice 1-drops are Serra Ascendant and Martyr of Sands, which combo together nicely. Also good with the Squadron Hawk Legion Conquistadors, since you can get a bunch of white cards and gain life with Martyr of Sands. There's a lot of super mediocre, nice little synergies woven in throughout this deck. Not necessarily super powerful, but nice synergies. So, yeah. We also have Thraben Inspector, which is just a nice little 1-drop that can potentially cycle the clue or give us an extra creature for flipping Legion's Landing or attacking with Windburst Kites. We also have Field of Ruin to try out, which can basically destroy non-basic lands from our opponent without having to give up a land of our own, and also Westvale Abbey, which is going to be great if we can flip it in certain situations, and potentially you might want to generate some 1/1s in the super late game if it gets to that point. Although we do have Legion's Landing to generate us some late game 1/1s as well. So yeah, that's the main deck. Pretty straightforward. Nothing special, not really a deck you see in Modern much nowadays, and I think there is a reason for that, because it's sort of not all that powerful or fast, but it's redundant. And the redundancies are you have a lot of creatures that are white. Alright, So what about the sideboard? Thalia for storm or creature decks. White doesn't have too much interaction against the combo decks, so we need some Thalias. Rest in Peace for against graveyard decks or Tarmogoyfs. Katakis against artifact decks like Affinity and Lantern. Same goes for Disenchant. Aven Mind Sensor against mana decks, mostly Scapeshift, but also reasonable against like Chord of Calling, that sort of thing. Oblivion Ring just as multi-purpose good removal. Mirran Crusader for against Death Shadows or Jundish decks. Wrath of God just when we need some efficient removal, kind of a surprise for our opponents as well. Leylines against hand disruption like Thoughtseize and Inquisition. Liliana's good to have Leylines there. And Dust Dawn mostly for against the Death Shadow decks, since it kills all their fish, their Tassigars, and their Death Shadows usually as well. So yeah, that's the deck. Should be some fun, so I hope you enjoy the games. Let's get to playing.